Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Depends on when you're watching this show from today. If you guys would be so kind again to hit the like button. Look, you guys are saying, Z, where you been at? It's only been like 3 days, man. Look, you never miss a good thing until it's gone. Last time I did a show was Wednesday. I didn't do multiplayer, I know, Friday, but I'm back today. Hopefully, I'm back for good. Now, listen. As you guys are coming in, of course, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna have people probably hop in and out today. Right now, I got my man with me, Gamers Know Best. He's been kind of filling me in the little things behind the scenes. But like I said, you miss a lot in 3 days. We're gonna talk about Sony's E3. We got the Fable rumors we can talk about. We got also
AAA thing,
the quad AAA thing. I got hey, just somebody that I know that knows somebody. Well, let's fuck it. I got a code for State of Decay. We're gonna talk about that. And a few things, maybe I can talk about today. Doing the show. Like I said, what's going on with you, GKP? How's it been?
Dude, I've been pretty good, man. Big shout out to the chat. Yeah, it's GKB. I love you guys too. You guys are awesome. Z's got the best chat around.
I know, man. I'll let them fuck niggas run wild. They mean they're cutting up too. That chat take on a life of its own, man.
Man. We're up here talking. I'm just laughing the whole time, just looking at that chat, dude. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it goes. I say it goes down in the DM. You know what I mean? Hold up, me inside here. Like I said today, we're supposed to be me, GKB, and Griffin Gaming. Griffin has to take a cross country trip or some shit to go find himself. We were supposed to go live at 12, but I wasn't able to. I wasn't here. Running on Black Man's time, so I'm just basically just getting back about 20 minutes ago. So we're gonna make it happen. Like I said, hold up, let me actually find my screen. All right. Hold up, as we go here. It says, "See, you ain't been live in a while. I'm lacking like the Kraken." All right. Shout out to me, so newbie 6996 Omeziago. Reviewing K, my man, the finest was good. Tabitha Moore. Skull Stomper, J Love, Hazel Wolf Demonic. All right. Anybody else I missed? But damn, please.
Neverland, the finest. What's up,
yeah. I know you guys. Like I said, as you guys come in, I hit the like button. So anyway, getting right in down to it, we had I think some things came out. We can talk about Fable 4. But so when Sony I had an interview, I guess, with Game Informer, and they had a bonanza bash about Days Gone, over an hour gameplay, which I've seen some of it. I wasn't able to really catch it all because where I was at the time, I had horrible service, right? But I saw a little bit more on the ride home today, say a little bit more. You know what I mean? What's your impressions of Days Gone, for what you've seen this far? Now, I've seen some people saying it looks horrible. It's nothing but a Dead Rising 3 ripoff. Like, I didn't listen. Before I was up in the mountains trying to find myself in Jesus. Like, what are your thoughts about Days Gone?
I enjoyed it, man. I actually liked it when they first showed it off at E3. I thought it was interesting. People are putting all these comparisons of like it's The Last of Us, and I don't really see that. I think it's post-apocalyptic, so anything in that genre kind of looks a little similar and all that kind of stuff. But they had like you can repair your motorcycle, do all kinds of upgrades. The combat. I think one of the coolest thing in Days Gone is you can actually use all those freakers as kind of like a weapon and stuff inside the game. So I think that's really interesting. And it's probably going to have an awesome story. So I'm excited for it.
Okay. I mean, but like for us, I guess people, now it did say alpha.
Yeah, it said alpha.
Okay. Pretty on it. I mean, so like far as the graphics, one thing I can say about Sony, what they do well to me, is the back and forth dialogue between the characters. They kind of got they kind of
they have really good storytelling, man.
Yeah, they are. And I don't know if it's that they have a higher up or it's the fact that Sony's into music and movies. But one thing I did notice was first thing I noticed between I guess it starts off when the lead character, the protagonist, is riding on his motorcycle and stuff, and he's having a conversation between him and the other guy, the co-star. It flowed well. It didn't seem forced. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people have. No, listen. To be fair, Horizon Zero Dawn, one of the flaws. Very pretty game, but the voice acting was horrible. I didn't mean to kill my wife. Like that's some of the shit that was from left field. But that's one thing that I noticed. Now, some people were saying that the game got a downgrade. It's not as good as what we saw. Like, what are your thoughts?
I didn't really see a downgrade. I mean, it's hard to tell like if it's actual alpha gameplay. You know, it's the same thing with like God of War. Like, you know, they were showing all this crazy stuff, but then when it came out, I thought it looked even better when it came out. So I'm not going to take anything like alpha gameplay and all that kind of stuff as like, you know, the end all be all. We got to wait till the final code and they release it and all that kind of stuff. And then me at the end of the day, I don't really care about resolution and all that kind of stuff. So if the gameplay is awesome, the story is great, and I'm good to go, man.
Are they eyeing when this game is it 2019 or yeah, it is 2019 rather?
Yeah, they said they were pushing that back to 2019.
I mean, they do have,
which is fine. I mean, look, they have God of War out, they have Detroit coming out, and then they have Spider-Man. So I think they're set on their first party this year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally fine with them pushing that back.
I mean, okay. So should we say now? Listen, and also, so we're going to talk about Sony. Actually, not leaked. They said themselves they're going to showcase with 4 games this year at E3.
Yep,
and
4 first party games.
That's going to be what?
I think it's going to be Kojima's game, Death Stranding. We're going to see Ghost of Tsushima,
The Last of Us,
The Last of Us 2, and I forgot what the other one was.
Spider-Man? No,
Spider-Man. I think they're going to be showing Spider-Man again, which is fine. Getting them hyped for right around the corner when it releases.
When is the game? The game comes out when?
September, I think.
Okay, I thought, why do you think the game comes out in June? The game comes out in September. Like, what do you think? Now, listen, I've been hearing from both sides of the aisle. Some Xbox fans saying, you know, Sony done shot their load. This is Microsoft's E3. You know what I mean? Like what do you stand? What do you stand with this?
Look, I don't really find it like a big deal, honestly. Like, I think from what we saw from like Jeff Keighley tweeting out that he was actually at Kojima, like actually playing the game. So I think we're actually going to see gameplay at this E3, which would be really good because I want to see actually what the hell the game's about instead of all these, you know, weird trailers that Kojima does. I'm not a huge fan of Kojima, to be honest, and be straight with everybody out there, but I think his game does look really awesome. I want to see what the gameplay is all about. And yeah, I don't really find this like a huge deal to me. I think they're still going to show their big third-party deals that they're going to have. They're going to be showing, you know, some indies and whatever AA and stuff that they got going on. Do they need to talk about any more first parties? No, they're like this year's stacked, and it looks like next year's probably going to be stacked too with first parties. So
now, okay, now listen on both sides of the coin here. I look at it like this. You know, I mean, it probably like, you know, this generation is winding down. I've always said 2019, 2020. Most likely, we're going to see something from as far as Sony, as far as a new console.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize that this generation started in 2013, and what happened last generation, very unhealthy for gaming as far as tech wise. That 8 and 9 year console life cycle, not healthy, not normal. Normally, a console's like less than about 4 to 5 years. We get new hardware. This generation, we even though like it started late, as far as power wise, they were really behind the curve, you know what I mean? And then we had to deal with a lot of cross-gen development, you know what I mean? They didn't stop that to like some of your biggest multi-plats that came out, whether it's Destiny or even some of your Little Blade Planet 3, you can buy on both consoles, you know what I mean? Call of Duty was still limited about 2 years ago. Do you think with Sony, like I said, they come out here, this is what we got. And as they kind of settle, you know, hey, this generation is winding down. We about to hit you guys with the PlayStation 5, or like you know, I mean, because it's kind of weird to come out and say what you're going to show before the show even happens. Like, what do you think they're? Yeah,
I think he was just trying to get ahead of, because I think their first party, I do think they showed a lot the last couple of things in kind of the same games. So yeah, I think him coming out and saying, hey, we're only going to talk about these couple of games, save, you know, something for the following year, because I think they said they're not showing any hardware this year. So next year they're probably going to be showing like a tease of the PS5 or whatever that's going to be. And then showing, you know, a bunch of games for that, you know, release and all that kind of stuff. So.
Okay. I didn't even know Post was going on. Post.
What's up, Post?
You know, I think he might get his mic muted. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so I look at it like this, right? Sony is the master, what I've seen, of PR, and I'm gonna say controlling the narrative and spinning it. This is how we trade our games, and today people share better gamer. I think they're coming out and saying, "Hey, what we got now?" So I guess if they were to get slammed, they've already taken 10. This is what we got. This is what we're showing. And now listen, and to be fair, it's not even damage controlling. I say that's it. Not say it's okay for them. It's more or less. If they have a weak E3, it's like Sony has given us so much during the year. We can hear you now. We can hear you.
What's good, people? What's good?
What's Post?
What's going on, man?
They're giving us so much through the year. They got the big, each month
absolutely.
they get a big layout. Spider-Man, Days Gone, Detroit, God of War. Each month is something they're giving big about their games. They're giving us something. Here's Microsoft's not saying anything. Their cards are most close to their chest. So I guess maybe leading into E3, we haven't heard anything much from you guys all year. So they're expecting something big. Like what do you like? I mean, it's like it tells of two coins here. Like it tells of two different sides of one company is not saying anything, and so you're expecting a lot. And here's this, they're showing a lot, but as far as Sony wise, like all throughout the year, like what's the better approach?
Like on BGST when we were talking last, and I was just going on rants about like Minecraft forever. So, I was just like, I was listening to everybody back and forth, and they're like, well, it's going to be 2 hours. They're going to be showing all these kinds of games. And
okay.
And that's all well and good. Like, that's great. You can show us like 100 damn games, but if they're all AA quality, what the hell's the damn point at that? Like, I'd rather you have a smaller, concise show of really high quality games. And, if they do that, then I'm fine with it. But, it still remains to be seen. And at this point, going into E3, and if they show us a ton of stuff, okay, great, but they still have to be proven, and we're probably going to talk about this a little bit too. They're already talking about like quadruple A, and okay, that's great.
Is that a real thing, or there's some fan?
That's the thing is like, is it just PR nonsense? Because like, let's be real here. Like, that's great. You want to do like a quadruple A, but how about get your triple A's really good before you even worry about quadruple A? Like,
I'm just saying, is that even such a thing? I've never heard of quadruple A before. I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of it either. But
you know what I mean?
Apparently it's a thing because IGN and all them were talking about it too, and they were talking about like, oh, it's like tens, but I don't believe that. I think quadruple A is more about a budget thing. So I don't know. We'll have to see what that actually turns out to be. Okay. But we're not going to see that for like 4 years or so from now. So
yeah. Post, you there now?
Yeah, I'm here. But
okay. What's going on, good brother? I haven't spoken to you in a while. What's going on? Listen, again, I'm quite sure you heard about it. Shout out everybody in the chat. Tip, Lionel, Classic Love, True Gamer. Sony's only should be showing 4 games. 4 first-party games, more or less at E3. Now, do you look at it as a Sony shot they low, or they're saying, "Hey, we're winding down, let you know before the PlayStation 5 drops"?
I think they're sending the PS4 off strong. I think they're in preparation of the next PS5 already. And this is a clear sign of that. And they sent in the PS4 off strong with these last 4 titles. And they don't have to show that much anyway, because third party is going to be super strong for them this year too. It has continued to be. It's exclusives on their system from third party that have yet to see the daylight on Xbox, especially in the Japanese market and things like that. So I just look at this as them sending the PS4 off strong and setting positive expectations for the next iteration of the system.
Okay. Reduce the sugar. Hey, my man, White King Kong said, "Please tell Phil to reduce the sugar in the games." Don't start just shit, man. Check it out, right? Now listen here, right? Now people saying a traditional E3. Now, is it Sony getting cocky? Say, "Hey, listen, motherfucker, this is what we got. This is what this is what we're gonna show you." Now, listen, it was already assumed that we were going to see some actual gameplay from these games. That was like a no given. Or do you think they're just coming out and saying, "Hey, don't expect anything else"? Or like, what I mean? Because it's kind of weird.
It's smart. I think it's smart on their behalf.
I agree.
Given the financial situation that they're in now, you don't need to spend all that money on, especially if you know your first party wise, you're only going to show 4 games. Look, let's narrow this down to a YouTube show. We allow the third parties to announce on their stage, let that be in their budget. We've been profiting throughout the year through hardware and software. So let's just, keep it to a minimum, get ready for the next PS5. I mean, they save a lot of money this way too. I mean, I think it's smart on them.
Yeah, I agree. I think their first party strong this year and next year anyway. Like, why do they need to go crazy?
And these are going to be cross-gen titles too. These last 4 titles are going to be cross-gen, so they're going to circulate over to the PS5 as well. And so, just think of these 4 titles at the beginning of the PS5 era when they get enhanced for the PS5. Because I'm pretty sure they're being made for the PS4 and the PS5 also, so They don't need to. They don't need no stage if they're only going to show 4 games, and then let the third party announce the third party titles for them. You save money.
Okay, now listen. What's up, Porter Rock?
Hey, what's up? Hold on, give me a minute.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna look at is the glasses being half empty. You're gonna have the Xbox guys over there saying that, hey, Microsoft got Sony running scared now. They got the full support of the behemoth. We got quadruple AAA. I mean,
Microsoft ain't scaring nobody right now.
Yeah.
Because Sony is comfortable right now. Sony is comfortable. They're in a great position right now, and the way they end this generation will set them up for the next system because people are going to be running to that next system.
Mm-hmm.
The way they end this, they might have didn't start strong, but you end strong. If you know you ain't gonna start strong, you end strong, and they're ending strong. And so going into the next system, they're gonna be nice. They're looking nice. I don't know about Microsoft; they looking iffy over there.
No, listen. Shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You're gonna say be so kind, hit the like button. Listen.
Microsoft ain't shit.
Man, what's up, man? Damn, I ain't know who was gonna be here. I just left the link.
See, we got a show now.
Hey, listen, hey, man, I got some bad news about your state of decay too, bro. I got some hands on.
What's bad about it?
Hold up, I'll tell you in a minute, man. Hold up, I got you.
Oh shit.
So again, like I said, I'm gonna get your opinion on this. Sony's showing 4 games or firm. At the E3, most likely they're gonna have a short show. I've always said this too, that you don't need a really long show, as long as it's a good show. And we talked about this on BGST about the whole Minecraft and indie shit. Anyway, so it a kind of odd move by Sony, kind of like a Nintendo Treehouse event. Hey, we're gonna, Nintendo to come out that motherfucking to show Zelda for their whole E3 show, and that was it, and drop the goddamn mic. Do you look at this as an odd move by Sony, them being cocky? Or, they're saying, hey, we're winding down here. We about to hit you guys soon with the PlayStation 5.
It's a combination of the two. Microsoft in competition, so they don't give a fuck. Sony don't have to do it. And then all these people are going to be like, it's okay, Sony. You gave us what we want. Oh, bitch, expect more from everybody. Stop with that dumb shit. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. And second thing, yes, they're coming out with PS5 in like 2 years. It is what it is. Like, they're going to roll these around. A lot of these games that they're showing now, this shit is going to be cross-generational, and they're going to put it out with the PS4 and PS5 and keep it moving. They don't care. This is going to be their AAA bangers to start off PS5, and then you're not going to get shit for another 3 years. Like, that's how PlayStation works. And everybody's going to be okay because they came out with these fucking games at the beginning of PS5. And then in those 3 years, then Xbox will come out with something else, another console, and we'll be talking about the same exact shit over and over again. They're gonna start with the same bullshit that they always do. Like the beginning of generations, 99% of the time are carryovers, and then you get 1 or 2 start, a early generation game that people give a pass to, and then you get nothing, and then you get hits. That's how Sony operates.
Hold on one second. I gotta let the dogs. Hold on.
This nigga come in on bullshit.
Yeah, come on, bro. I just keep 100. Like everybody, I expect more from Sony. I expect more from Microsoft. Yeah. All y'all motherfuckers being complacent and being okay with either side of the spectrum, y'all are the fucking problem.
Agreed.
Like saying it's okay, Sony. Nah, it's not okay from any of y'all motherfuckers. It's not.
Yeah.
Give me more at all times. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Whether or not I think they have a good lineup this year, none of that shit matters to me right now, because as soon as this year is over, what's next? Like everybody loves to be to call out what Microsoft has coming out, but then when Sony does some shit that's mediocre, they be like, it's okay, but Microsoft. It's the same shit that we tell the Microsoft side when they were like, well, Sony did this or Sony did that. And then you're like, well, we're talking about Microsoft. We're talking about Sony, so just focus, nigga. Like, expect better from everybody. It's just that simple.
Yeah, they tend to kind of get Sony a pass for the same stuff they flack at with Microsoft. But, I mean, both sides should get flack. I mean, because I think right now gamers are in the now moment. And so when the future come after these games come out, I think it's still going to be a while before we see Last of Us and Death Stranded. As far as them being playable, we might get some gameplay this E3, but as far as them being in the consumer's hand, I think it's still going to be probably another year or two. And I do agree, they probably do launch cross-gen on PS5 and PS4.
Okay, so Omega Yazo said those aren't going to be the only title shown.
Mhm.
I agree those aren't going to be the only title shown. The motherfucker said they are also going to show a bunch of stuff from third parties that are going to be exciting and brand new from third parties, which will 99% of the time be on every fucking thing in indie games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what, like, he didn't say we're going to come out and announce a bunch of bangers. He said we're going to showcase these 4 games, third parties, and indie games.
Yeah. It's kind of what they did at the beginning of the generation where they showcased a couple of exclusives and then they relied on third-party indies. It's like they're ending this generation, but this time they got 4 strong titles and they're just going to rely on exclusives from third-party marketing deals and some indies.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back. Porter Rock, ever get back in?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, okay. All right. No. Listen, Porter Rock. I caught a little piece of your little dog shit show. When I was up in the mountains, trying to find myself for the last couple of days. Right. Now I've seen Sony doing away with the traditional E3. And I guess in the odd precedent move, I think hey, they come out and say, hey, this is what we got. You know what I mean? Like same way, hey, this is how we trade their game. Is it Sony just being cocky, saying we got this shit in the bag? They feel as though they don't have to do anything more, or hey, we're giving you guys things all throughout the year. You just had the big, blowout in Game Informer, or they say hey, the PlayStation 5 will be out there. Like, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, before we start, let's pay the bills real quick.
Okay.
Shout out to Harry Halmy with the $50. Sony will have a press conference like
hey,
usual.
Man, that's 50 in Tibetan money. That's about $2 right there.
That's about $2. Oh my the $2 holiday.
I'm just fucking with you.
Sony will have a press conference like usual, but focus on in-depth showcasing on the 4 PSX, which is PlayStation Baby. Will have more announcements. Said the same thing last year, but they did the same thing. Here go Classic Glove, WKRP. DRM, Wii U was a failure from the start to finish. Look at the Switch. So no, we're not gonna know what Sony or Microsoft gonna do next generations. And shout out to Harry again. Sony changing their strategy. Go ahead,
I'm gonna get Classic Glove. So Wii U was a failure at the beginning of the generation. Absolutely. At the end of the generation, when they started releasing Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, the Wii U, which had been fucking abysmal the entire generation, suddenly started selling a whole bunch at the end of the generation when they started releasing the games that mattered. So that's what happens. Like you release the stuff that matters, people push it out, or your competition fucks up so royally that everybody turns their back on them, and it doesn't matter what you do. And you try to claw and climb up, but you do it the wrong way, and you end up where we are right now. That's how this shit works. Like it's all cyclic. At the beginning of this generation, Sony is going to do the same thing they do every generation, and you've heard it over and over from people. This is what Sony does. At the beginning of the generation, it was slow. They said our first party output is slow. That was Sony. You can't argue with Sony. They know what the hell they're putting out. It's Sony. They said it's slow. Then at the end of the generation, they dropping all the bombs for you. Greatness awaits. It awaited till the 3rd and 4th year. It's just what that shit was. That shit's gonna happen again. The next generation, they're gonna put out these cross-generational titles. At the beginning, you're not gonna get much from Sony's first party, and then about 2.5 to 3 years into it, all of a sudden they're gonna drop some bombs. Like this shit ain't rocket science. They've been doing this for generations now. Why would they switch up what's winning?
Well, let me touch up on that subject though. I think like maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, news release, Sony released a press release that they restructured pretty much how they're gonna do first party business. They realigned, figureheads, they realigned positions, they realigned stuff to bring a bigger focus on their first party. We can only hope that these movements and these big shifts could prevent what Sony traditionally does, which is it takes 2-3 years, almost 4, to start releasing games, because with them coming out this generation saying that the first party lineup is sparse, yeah, that's A lot of people took that as a joke. They took it as funny. You know, they used it for the console war banner. But what people don't realize is Sony admitted there was a problem. They looked at their product and be like, okay, something's wrong here. We got to, you know, something's got to get fixed. I'm pretty sure all those years of negativity towards their brand, they probably, or at least if they were smart, try not to repeat that, you know, so that way they, with the PlayStation 5, they don't once again come out, oh my God, our first party lineup is sparse, you know. So we can only hope that they don't continue with the cyclic rate of, all right, you have to wait 3 years for games and whatever. And with the shift movements in their position,
that's across the board.
It's got to be
Microsoft too, with all of them. You know,
I would have agreed with you, P-Rock, if they weren't winning by such a large margin.
What does it have to do anything? If
because
I'm saying
they're saying our lineup is sparse, and that was them admitting a fault. And you know what they heard from everybody who heard it? Sony, you're doing a great job.
It's okay.
Like, it's okay. So it's the same shit with Microsoft right now. Microsoft is making money. So they hear us saying Microsoft makes some fucking.
It's not okay for
but
Microsoft.
They're making money. So in Microsoft's head, it's okay.
Yeah, but the difference is
they change positions. So the new heads of most of these departments are all fixated on Sony making long-lasting money. So the games you'll get, and I hope this isn't true, but this is what I foresee, because the heads that are in charge right now, outside of Sean, are talking about games as a service, them transforming their platform market to make long-lasting series that have longevity. So I see the ones that are in the middle, you're like the God of War 6s and all that stuff. The ones that are in the middle are going to be games as a service games that are going to last you until they drop their first party bangers at the end of it. Like, because you say we get another what is it, Horizon Zero Dawn, that they're not gonna right, that took 5 years, 7 years, 5 to 7, whatever it was. So when it come out, 2016, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, 2017. When did it go? 2017. So that's 2022. So let's say we take off a year, it's 2021, and let's say the PS5 comes out 2020. That's 2.5 years in. Like I said, it's the same cycle. Their first party output, you put out The Last of Us 2 in a year and some change, then you're not going to see another game from Naughty Dog for another 5 years. You put out God of War this year, and in 2 years you'll see something. So in God of War 5 will come out another 2.5 years into the cycle of the PS5. Like, it's not about them switching up their strategy, because the studios they have, especially the ones that settle in to these marketed strategies, they're going to continue to push the things that make them exemplary. And God of War, the new direction, this is one of those things that pushes them past. Horizon Zero Dawn was a hit for them. This is one of the things that's pushing them past. They're going to keep making those games. Now, Naughty Dog may switch it up and do something new after The Last of Us, but that's still not going to come out anytime soon. So you'll get these cyclic games, and it's going to take the time that it's going to take to come out. Sony doesn't rush things. In not rushing things, it's going to take whatever time that they decide it's going to take. It's not going to be at the beginning of the generation. It's going to be a few years into it, and you're going to have to wait.
All right, so the game part I get. Hold on, but you saying that Sony doesn't, or
we got a debate here.
No, but you went so long that I can't remember the exact words. But oh man, let me put it this way: if Sony, we're not talking about replacing positions, meaning this guy retired and we put in this guy. They restructured how they're handling business as a first-party publisher. You don't do that unless you're trying to change things, which means that when people were giving Sony a pass because they didn't have, first-party games, if they didn't care, then they wouldn't have done that restructuring. They did the restructuring for a reason. Now, I don't know exactly what the reason is. Maybe it is so that way, whatever. But they did something, and they did major shifts because they wanted to change something. So I don't think saying because people were cool with, oh, it's a great idea, you don't release games or whatever we're going to say, they shifted their first party and how they put positions, they restructured, who's in charge of what. They did big
So what-
changes for
oh,
a reason.
Microsoft did some restructuring, and people still don't believe shit gonna change.
Well, I don't know I don't know what restructuring they did though. Like Sony actually put it out there. I mean, it was like a whole big template of exactly who's doing what studios in charge of what positions doing what in terms of first party. They were very specific.
So what are you saying? Wait, hold on. First, did you pay Lionel Bulgin? I'm sorry, I just got back at the get me some some pain medication. Which says I'm expecting the Moonstars and the whole universe from Sony. They better mop the floor with that clown Phil Spencer. No excuses. Now, hey Porter Rock. Now, you're basically what you're saying is that you don't buy the fact that Sony's gonna. Well, I guess when the PlayStation 5 come out, more or less, like they normally do, and rely on third-party indies, and then come up with their bankers towards the end of the year.
Well, I'm hoping. What I'm saying, I'm hoping it doesn't end up like that way because when they did these major shifts, I would only imagine they did it for a reason. I mean, if they're gonna end up doing the same thing, then I don't understand what the point of the restructuring was for. Like, what would it be for if you're only gonna repeat the same?
So this is my question. So, how long is it gonna take for Horizon Zero Dawn 2 to come out?
I mean, technically, Horizon Zero Dawn could get it out within 3 years because they already have the structure.
I say 2.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, well,
I think it took longer at first.
Like right
from scratch.
Yeah, and they build a brand new engine for it, but they already have the assets for it.
I think the second one's going to take much shorter than the first one.
Yeah, they could knock out another Horizon Zero Dawn 2 in 3 years. It's not going to be another 6-year project because unless they're going to create a new engine for it, Horizon Zero Dawn included, the development of the the fucking engine, Decima engine. You see what I'm saying? The first brand new IP of any game, especially if you're gonna use a new engine, that takes the longest. After that, you could bang out sequels. I mean, look at Uncharted. Uncharted 1 came out. Yeah. It was like 5 years in development, but then Uncharted 2 came out 2 years later. It came out in 2009.
Yeah.
After the first one, you understand? So the sequels are easier until you do a revamp. God of War took 5-6 years because it was a revamp. It was a reboot, complete new game. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the only thing that's God of War-ish is just the name and the character. Everything about the game is brand new about it. So yeah, that's going to be a 5-6 year venture. But then after that, you have the assets, you have everything. 2-3 years, you could bang out another title.
Okay, here's a question. Here's a question. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You be so kind again. Hit the like button. We're gonna have a little bit fun. You ready? Listen, my pain medication just kicked in. We're about to have some fun. Shall we? I'm in my bag, man. Listen, right? Here's the thing. Now, and again, I'm just sitting back to. I just nodded out and I woke back up right with my Ray Charles shit. Are you upset, more or less, what they're doing? They come out and say we got 4 games. We're going to showcase 4 games. I don't, what I mean? Or were you expecting more from Sony at this year's E3?
I was expecting a little bit more than that. I wasn't expecting like what they did in 2016, where they would show 3 new IPs, but I was expecting maybe something. Like know what From Software is coming out with, because there was, they had that little teaser last year. Maybe something, if they did a deal with Capcom to keep Devil May Cry exclusive, shit like that. But I'm not sure what they're gonna do. So I listened to the blogcast that Sean Layden was on, because this all stemmed from the PlayStation blogcast.
Yeah.
And so when they asked him about E3, he mentioned that they're gonna do something different for E3, where they're gonna showcase 4 games. And they, he mentioned the 4 games: Death Stranding, Death Stranding, Spider-Man, The Last of Us 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. But they also asked him, is that all you're gonna do? And he replied back, no, we're gonna show stuff from third parties, we're gonna make new announcements, and we're gonna show indies. So the key is, what new announcement is that? Is it VR? Is it big AAA? Is it?
Yeah, I think VR is.
I think VR. Yeah, definitely VR is going to be in there. So we're not sure, whatever. And so the only thing we do know is it's going to be a traditional conference in the sense that they're going to be on stage just like normal. It's going to be live streamed, YouTube, whatever app you're doing or whatever. The only thing they're changing up is they're going to put a good focus on these 4 big titles. We're going to see third party. The question is, how much new shit are we going to see? Or how many new bangers? And I said before, I always been asking, what more can Sony show? Because technically, even before this E3, Sony has 4 big titles on the docket, right? And 3 of them are new, right? Spider-Man's new. That's coming out. Death Stranding is new. Days Gone is new. Ghost of Tsushima is new. These are new IPs. So we got big new IPs. And this is before E3. So I was wondering, damn, is Sony going to show 2 or 1 or 3 more new IPs?
Okay.
That's really a lot from one publisher.
No, GKP. You there? I want to get you in here. You know what I mean? These guys are my calls, Pauls, right?
It's all good, bro.
Here's the thing: were you expecting more from Sony, or you're fine with what they're showing?
No, I wasn't expecting really a whole lot. Like, he came out and he's getting ahead of the news. He's like, hey, we're going to show these 4 games from first party specifically, and then he's going to let third party. That doesn't mean that we're not going to see anything new from a third party perspective or money that they put into some third party deals or anything like that. Like, it just seems like a normal E3 to me. I don't know what the big deal is.
Okay, in perspective. Okay, here's the thing. Now, would Microsoft be able to come out and just say, hey, we're going to show you guys Crackdown, Forza Horizon, what is it, 4? What else you got coming out? That's all we know.
Yeah, who knows?
Ori and the Blind Forest 2, and I don't know what to shit. A teaser of Halo 6 or New Gears. Would Microsoft be able to come out and do that same thing and and not see, like I said, much backlash in your honest opinion?
Like, do the same thing, like come out and say, hey, we're only going to show these 4 games?
First party, Gears. I'm sorry, either a trailer for Gears or Halo.
Tons of backlash if that's all they show. Like, if that's all they show, I'll be pretty upset about it. I'll be like, yeah, I don't really care. Honestly, I want to see some new big franchises that they're putting all this money in. Like, what the hell has Phil Spencer been doing for all these years? Like, this is time to show that. And if you come out and just saying, hey, it's Gears, Forza, Halo, like, yeah, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. And I'll be pretty damn vocal on the next podcast I'll be in. So
okay, let me pay the bills very quick. Harry Halim says, Z, what's your thoughts if the next Xbox is Xbox One Z? I'll be flattered, and I better get one for free. Fuck nigga. And my man here, Rossetti. Sony Studios are busy making games, so the fact that they're focusing on only 4 is not bad. We know what's coming. Microsoft is the ones people should be worried about.
Agreed.
Well, and again,
I mean, look at, like, why wouldn't you be concerned about like Microsoft at this point? Like, yeah, Sony's going to be putting out some good games. We know they're probably going to get 10s, 9s, like whatever. They put a lot of quality into their games. Like, here's my point. Like, Xbox is talking about quadruple A now. Like, yeah, okay, cool, great PR talk. How about get your fucking triple A's to the quality that fucking Sony's putting out right now? Worry about that. Like, it's just all PR nonsense at this point. Like, just stop.
I literally said that in my last video, that they made a quadruple A studio, which is extra A that don't mean shit. They have a triple A problem.
Yep, exactly.
You skipping the A don't mean shit.
Yeah, I talked about this on my video, my channel. This whole quadruple A,
fuck nigga, shameless plug. Okay, what happened?
Well, these are real terms, but the industry changed them because during the PS2 gen and the early gen of the PS3, 360, and all that, these titles, these A ratings was actually in relation to the scores the games got. Like, a single A title would be a score in the 70s, a double A would be in the 80s, triple A is 90 rated games, and then a quadruple A will be specific sites will be the 10 rated games. So all throughout PS2, throughout the PS2, PS1 gen, even the 360 gen, AAA rating games was based on their reviews, not by the money. So this is how you balance the system out. If you got a game, it doesn't matter how big the game, how much budget you spent on it. If the game was trash and it was a single rated A game, we wouldn't call it AAA just because you spent money on it. It didn't matter. It was the effort of the developer and the quality. Like, for example, during 360 game Braid, which is a Xbox Live Arcade game, that was considered a AAA level game because it rated, it got a 90 average, But developers and publishers, they started pushing, this talk of AAA development, AAA budget, and they pushed it. They pushed it. Sony did it too. Everyone did it. So now we're in a world is you could have a shit game, a shit low-rated game, but it is still AAA because of the budget. Now, what that does is it could potentially help with the sales because everybody's using those terms. Oh, this is a AAA, like Order 1886, right? It averaged a 60. That wouldn't be considered a AAA game during the PS2, PS3 era. They will call that a flop. And if all these gamers are saying, "Oh, this game's a flop, this game's a flop, this game a flop," it wouldn't sell because the word of mouth on the street is this game sucks. Now you don't say that. Now imagine if I were to go right now on Twitter and be like, "Yo, fucking Order 1886 is not a AAA game." People will fucking attack me because Sony spent big money, and that's how this whole shit shifted. It doesn't matter. The game could be the most terrible game in the world, but if you spend $50 million on it, it's a AAA title.
Nah, that's nah.
That's just how it is, though. That's how the world is now.
No, yeah, we're not
Like Rise. Let me go on Twitter right now and say Rise is not a AAA game and see what happens to me.
I like the Rise. I mean, I'm a little repetitive, but
Rise is like a AA somewhere. You know,
I mean, hold on.
It had a budget of a AAA, and that's just really how the industry wants it.
I look at State of Decay as a single there. We're gonna talk about that right now. Hold on, no man's gonna be mad. My man, shout out to my man Jerry Totten. He said Microsoft has Triple Z Studios. God damn. Now listen, I've been away for 3 days. Right? I was out off in the woods in the mountains trying to find myself, right, spiritually, right. So on my journey throughout the wilderness, you know what I mean, like the Starks, you know, found my dire wolf out there. I got slid a copy of a review copy of State of Decay 2. Now listen, yeah, nigga do tell. It ain't the answer, Sway. It's literally it's nothing more than what we already had. I'm keeping the thing all the way a bucket. I'm cutting it down the middle. Ain't no chaser here. And I mean, and again, because you did have people on both sides of the coins. Because I'm initially, when again, people get caught up in the theatrics and how you say satire, the comedy. But I was really upset about State of Decay when they announced the price tag for the game, because again, I was expecting a AAA game. You know what I mean? And this is what they were saying. We got the full support of Microsoft behind the game. And again, you know the first game, cult classic, had a lot of things that were wrong with it, but made State of Decay what it was. But here it is. You got a $1 trillion company getting behind the game, is going to back it fully. You know what I mean? And so I was expecting more. And I can literally say, if you played State of Decay 2, more or less, State of Decay, not much has changed. Literally, you know what I mean? And it's not me damage control, is me being honest. So, this ain't the answer this way. So we're still counting down. It's been almost 2 years since the Xbox platform has had a AAA game. You know what I mean? And I know Mass is one of his most sought after games this generation or whatever.
Well, they did. The developer did state that they're given the budget of a AAA game, that Microsoft intentionally lowered the price of the game to gain more entry and more customers buying into the ecosystem of the game, so it can have an extended life. They could have put it out at $60, but I allude to what Porter Rock just said. Budgets doesn't define what the game is gonna be.
Had they put that bitch at $60 in the class action loan, so they couldn't take 2 CDs back to back. Yeah, I'm giving it a plug.
No, I understand that, but even if it was put out as people acts as if it would
hold up,
it being at a $30 determines the quality of the game.
Hold on 1 second. We pay the bills. Hold up. My man Buju Ram said, I've probably been coming up as a Mindless fanboy league, but I still fuck with you the long way. I appreciate it, but let me say this: you guys remember that EA got sued for that Madden 06 they released for the 360?
The first one, the very first one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Okay, so look, I guarantee you, had they put that bitch out $60, it'll be some shit like that came on down the line. Home pay the bills one time. My man Hayes Wolf didn't mind me left with it. I never seen a $3.50 tip before. Appreciate it, though. AA plus AA, they rub 2 turds together to try to get gold.
They tripping in the chat.
Yeah, but I mean, what are your thoughts? Hey, GKP, do you have any high hopes for the game, or are you willing?
Dude, man, like we were talking before, and I was seeing some of the stuff that you were showing me and stuff, and I this was like my most anticipated game of this year. But based on what I seen and all that kind of stuff, yeah, there's a reason why it's $30, and I'll just leave it there.
I've played the game since the last podcast I was on. It plays just like State of Decay 1. Which is exactly what I was expecting. Still gonna play the shit out of it.
I mean, it's fair.
Was there any changes?
I like the first one.
Improvements?
Yeah, there's some improvements. It plays much better on PC. There's still because that's where I play 90% of my games. So there's still like some of this State of Decay jank, quote unquote. I didn't encounter nothing game breaking. The inventory system and the base building is much better than the first one, and it still gives me that I'm building my community type vibe, which is all I wanted from State of Decay. So
is this more single player driven with where you could co-op with other people? Like how's the like?
Yeah, to me it plays like State of Decay 1 as far as the single player is concerned, but other people can just drop in and do stuff. But your focus is still to build your base.
Hey yo, but it gives you the Sea of Thieves kind of feel.
No. We will not be doing this RIP Xbox today. We started off good. We will not be doing this today.
I'm still, like I said, I'm going to play the shit out of State of Decay 2. Just like I played the first one. I like State of Decay 1. State of Decay 2 is more State of Decay. If you don't like State of Decay 1, you will not like State of Decay 2. Period.
Yes, agreed.
You won't at all. In any way, shape, or form. It doesn't change up what State of Decay 1 was.
But and listen, that could be looking at a problem. Because again, a lot of things, a lot of issues that people have with the I'll be honest with you, I was suspecting more. You know what I mean? Being out like
what were the issues people had with the first one? That
the co-op, you know what I mean? For co-op, a few bugs kind of. Listen, it was a goddamn indie game. You know what I mean? It didn't give you that.
The first one was frame rate issue and frame pace.
I'm just coming from a console guy with poor health and bad eyesight. Fuck me, right? But I'm saying is this right? It came off as being kind of cheesy a little bit. I was expecting something on the terms of. No pun, Days Gone, more or less, or Left 4 Dead.
Trash? Did you see that shit?
Did
you see that hour of gameplay? Lord.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that.
I heard some
that shit too.
I gotta see that.
Man, bro, that shit looked terrible.
It does look bad, but
that shit look bad.
You expected State of Decay to turn into Days Gone?
No, I mean it looks like the same goddamn State of Decay.
Right, it's State of Decay 2.
But I got the most world.
You expect Uncharted 2 to be a different game? Like
I know.
Listen, I expected it to be State of Decay fucking.
That sound like you putting the D in the
no, I'm saying you expect Uncharted 4 to be different from Uncharted 3?
No, I expected more innovation than I got in State of Decay 2.
I am not wild.
I can give you that. Like I said, the way I expected State of Decay 2 to be. Or what I wanted from the multiplayer was I wanted it more PvP based. Everybody builds a community on one big ass map. If we see each other, we fight over materials. That's how I wanted the State of Decay co-op or PvP.
But to me, like DRM, man, like,
that's what I thought it was when people.
That's what I wanted it to be.
Like before the reveal, people were telling me that different groups will build the communities. It's kind of like they kind of compared it to like a Walking Dead type.
Right, and
I'm thinking, man, that's actually pretty dope. I was like,
I wanted because that they set up State of Decay 1 so it could be that type of Walking Dead community thing where everybody has communities and you just on the map you focus in on power. Now, could they make that a game mode later? Sure, but like I don't give a fuck. That's what I wanted from the multiplayer. I'm still gonna play State of Decay. I'm playing with my wife. She doesn't give a fuck about building her base. Although the way the multiplayer works is a combination of State of Decay 1, just you're in a different world. So all the supplies and all that shit you still return to your base. The only difference is you can't build up your whoever's game you're in. You can't build up their base. Yeah. All the shit you bring back is for your base. So until you go back to your game, you won't be able to utilize it for the base. That's literally it. But as far as the tethering and all that shit, I didn't encounter none of those problems. Like we were apart. Like,
are you talking about you and your spouse, or what?
No. I played online with other people.
Oh, okay.
But we were apart far enough, and I didn't see any of those like issues where we got rubber banded back. But I didn't try to test the limits either. We was just playing. We were just playing. And we didn't have any issues. We went to that side of the town. I went to this side of the town, and we were just grabbing shit, and we met in the middle.
Because I don't think he's being honest. We hate the questions. And HGK people, what was you expecting? I'm sorry.
I was expecting a bit more, man. To be honest with you, I think this is just a DLC, and just calling it State of Decay 2, because honestly, to me, it's State of Decay 1 reskinned, and there's a couple of new little things here and co-op. That's about it, honestly. So, I mean, the jank's still there, which is fine, but I found State of Decay 1 more charming than 2.
Okay. So, how about this? Is this a fair assessment? What year did the first one drop?
Oh man, a while back. I don't even know what year it was.
2010, maybe 9. 10?
Yeah, it's back in the 360 days, right?
About 2009, 2010, 2011, right? 7 years since the. So we're supposed to at a minimum 7 years since the last one. 7 to 6 years. Not much has changed.
It dropped in 2013.
Okay, what's 5 years? So 5 years. All right, give or take a year. So not much has what have they been doing with the last 5 years? Do we feel that like Microsoft was behind this game financially, or is that what just all fucking how you say softcore porn with no money shot? Like I'm just saying, we're talking about you got the weight of Microsoft and the deep pockets, and again, I don't know, like the games are just Why is that though? You know what I mean? Like everything is just nothing to fucking slap your mama about or write home about. You know what I mean? And again, I was hoping, like I said, and not to not be picky or nothing. This was I was looking for it more to State of Decay 2 than I was Crackdown 3. I've never really been a big fan of Crackdown 3. I know that Forza Horizon 4 is going to be fire, Muka Flame, Muka Fire. It's Forza Horizon. It's like MLB the show. You expect it.
I mean, to be fair, like I agree with DRM. I think it's much of the same of a State of Decay 1. Like if you love State of Decay 1, you're gonna love this game. You're gonna have fun. I'm gonna continue playing it, but I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, "Hey, it's the best game ever," kind of thing, because it's not. And I think when people see the review scores, that's gonna,
are we going to see biased media, or is it really?
No, I don't think it's going to be biased media at all.
I need to intervene real quick and get. I'm sorry to sidetrack the show, but I gotta check Alex old goof ass in the chat room about this Days Gone. What I've seen of the hour gameplay, it looked at trash, bad frame rate, bad animation. The graphics was not that good. The motorcycle chase, the guy he was chasing was going faster than he was. It looked terrible, and it was trash. Z didn't even make a video of it. I don't see no Sony fans saying, "Look." I don't see no Sony fans saying, "Look at this Days Gone footage," because they know the game looked terrible. It wasn't shown in a good light. I never said I love State of Decay. State of Decay have its issues too. I'm not comparing both of the games, but from what I saw of Days Gone, it looked trash. Who disagrees?
To be fair, it was pre-alpha footage. Yes, I
know it's pre-alpha footage.
I'm gonna say this though.
Hold on though. I want to address this holistically. If it's pre-alpha footage, I don't give a flying fuck, because anytime you see pre-alpha footage of a fucking Xbox game, it is the end of the fucking world.
Exactly.
Fuck. This shit
and the same thing I said in the chat.
Bad is bad. I don't give a fuck if it's pre-alpha. If it's,
I agree.
That none of that shit matters. What they showed wasn't great.
It wasn't. It wasn't. For as far as long as that game is, it should have looked better than that.
What they showed wasn't great.
Because if it was about to get released this year in that state, it was terrible. It got pushed back. That game was about to get released this year, so it would have came out somewhere similar to what was just shown. And y'all accepted that. But then when it comes to an Xbox game in the same light, it's a problem.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
Days Gone is a year. Days Gone is a year away. Right the fuck now. But earlier this year, that a month and a half ago, it was this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, keep it real. Be real about the shit. A month and a half ago, that shit got announced that it was delayed. It wasn't like this shit wasn't coming out this year.
I agree with that though, because I didn't see the footage yet, but I don't see why people are against critiquing alpha footage. That lets the developer know, hey, wait a minute, that shit don't look too good. You better do something.
Exactly.
That's just being honest.
Yeah.
This shit looks like shit. Don't get mad. Tell the developer it looks like shit. It's the only way they're going to fix it.
Go watch that video and go watch that video, that hour footage. and you're gonna see the
Yeah,
same.
you gotta
thing.
do that, man. Like, look at all the Xbox dudes going out there and being like, Sea of Thieves was fantastic. Blah 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 blah. They did it the whole time.
They paid the price.
Garbage.
Yeah, and I took my L on Sea of Thieves.
Hey,
I took my L on that.
How long was that beta? The beta was like 6 months or whatever.
A
year. And, you know, and they should have known. They should have been honest and be like, wait a minute. This can't release with this little content. They should have been honest.
I don't mean to jump on like Sea of Thieves again and get this whole conversation started, but people praising like their fucking like plan coming out now is the shit we've been saying in the beta for Sea of Thieves the whole fucking year and a half it was on.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of here with this bullshit.
Wait.
I took my L.
Hey, GKB, are you questioning Craps and Turkey when he says the game of the generation? Is this what you're doing?
Well, like you said,
I bring you on this show to take shots at my brother. Oh, but I'm being messy. I'm being messy. Sorry.
Well, but it's true. If you see bad footage, I mean, the best thing you could do is admit it. So that way, because you know they have people that looks at the feedback. That's the reason why they do it.
Yeah,
footage is to see
exactly. And I'm saying from what I saw. It didn't look too good. I thought it would have looked better than that, given the development time it had, and the fact that it was going to come out this year before it got pushed back. But it was a good thing that it did get pushed back because that game need to be polished some more. The animation, frame pacing, frame rate, it was a whole lot of shit off in that footage.
Oh, wait, hold on.
The pre-alpha quote unquote footage that they showed when they announced this bitch. And they showed that shit looked better than that hour gameplay they just showed.
Yeah, and it wasn't a flood of zombies. Did you see
2 years later
the 200 zombies chasing them in that hour gameplay? No, you didn't.
All right, hold on.
You didn't see all them zombies on screen.
Let me pay the bill. Harry Halim said, Days Gone is an alpha stage footage and is using the Unreal Engine. I guess they're not using the Decima. So what you're saying is basically what I'm getting here is that what they showed at E3 2016
looked it better than what they
better than
just
that
showed. Yes, it did.
So you're basically saying that Sony came out there and pulled them the Killzone Shadowfall?
Facts.
2005?
Facts.
I wouldn't go that far because that was,
go watch the footage.
We
have the receipt.
They was like, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Show some shit that don't exist at all. But it wasn't great. The stuff they showed before at E3 that looked better than the hour footage they showed.
Yeah, it does use the Unreal Engine. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck would they do that for?
Go watch the footage. And
because they probably started it early enough to where they didn't know that Decima was going to be what it is. So instead of trying to start building a platform on
y'all should be ashamed of yourself in the chat. Y'all get on us for damage controlling all the time, and y'all ain't doing nothing but damage controlling in the chat. Look at
listen up, fuck nigga.
Look at it. Here we go. Here we go.
Nigga.
The super fuck nigga on the show. Yeah. What's up, King? How you feeling, man?
Chilling, man. You walking L. This nigga almost got a war. No PlayStation 4. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, you can't keep telling people that, bro. You can't keep telling people that, bro. Y'all gonna leave me alone about that. I'll be trying to stay quiet on that shit so nobody won't bring it up.
Listen, you're a walking
My man got the ham but no burger.
Oh shit! But listen, man, y'all talking about that alpha build? Y'all remember God of War on that E3 stage? It looks totally different from what it does now.
But God of War looked good on the E3 stage.
All right, and it looks better now. So imagine.
Yeah, but just because we could assume that they're gonna make improvements doesn't mean that we don't say something. We have to say it.
Sony ain't gonna release.
You can't tell me that the E3.
Yeah, but no one's. No, I don't think anyone's arguing that the game when it launches will look like dog shit. I'm just saying
this state
right now from what we see.
Oh, how about this? And Alex, maybe this be fair. The level of talent between Sony Santa Monica. What's the name of the studio here?
Sony Bend.
Yeah. What has Sony Bend made or whatever? I don't.
Vita games.
A bunch of Vita games and ports.
Yeah,
but this is their game to show you that they're about that. You think Sony gonna greenlight them if they weren't gonna put out Fire?
Well, they did greenlight one and that two, to be fair.
Listen. Why is we getting pre-alpha footage of a game that was supposed to come out this year?
Everybody was talking shit at E3 and at what was it, PlayStation Experience. Oh, where's the gameplay? Where's the gameplay? Sony never shows the gameplay.
Why are we getting pre-alpha footage of a game that was supposed to come out this year?
All right, so where's that Crackdown gameplay?
Oh, that
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
know.
That's not the point. You're
What
worried about where the goal
Here's the reality. Here's the
Let's-
reality.
let's call it spade for spade.
Oh,
Here's the reality.
You see how he deflected?
Here's the reality. The critique.
I have to.
Here's the reality. The critique is on what we seen, nothing more. It's not.
Right.
It's not reflective of the final game. We're just saying, or the people who've seen it, that the alpha footage looks like shit. That's all
Even
that
some of the
is.
Sony fans was
It's
disappointed.
like
bro.
Crackdown.
It's not just me.
Crackdown at this point looks like shit. It could be better.
4 years later.
But as of now, it looks like shit. That's
Man,
all
go-
we're saying.
I will leave it up to the panel. Go see the hour footage yourself and make your own conclusion. But my opinion is that it looks like trash. It looks trash.
See if Decay, man. That's the new wave right now. You heard it in the chat. See if Decay.
My man Harry Halim, shout out to you again for the one Tibetan coin. He says it's pre-alpha, beta, and final person along the way.
Oh, they is getting on me in the chat.
Yeah. Well, what's the thing though? I guess with GKP, in your honest opinion,
Yeah.
Do you like what you saw from Ben 10 with this earlier outshowing of Days Gone?
Yeah, I like what I saw. I'm not gonna say that it wasn't like without flaws. Like I'm not one of those guys that jump on like alpha footage and being like, oh, it's fucking terrible, blah blah blah. Yes, I agree with Poda Rock and stuff. You do need to speak up because you'll get like a Sea of Thieves kind of thing if you don't. But I liked what I saw from gameplay wise, like graphics and all that kind of stuff. I think at the end of the day, when it's ready to release, it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
That's why they got the extra year.
Yeah.
Again, we not.
Yeah, we said the same thing about other
In a
games.
year, they could probably.
Yo,
polish it up.
DRM, you talk about Microsoft.
I'm saying
stock.
right
You don't
now,
play
though.
games.
This shit is
Stop.
trash.
Okay, no doubt.
Well, listen. To be fair, again, I did hear.
It looks bad. Like the gameplay features, all that shit. Okay, whatever. But the way it's playing,
That's what
right
we
now,
play games
Yeah.
for.
Doesn't
For the
look great.
game.
Hey, wait, hold
the
up, man.
gameplay
It's
doesn't
crazy,
look great.
bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god! All right,
My man Ren, shout out to Renz. He said, what's going on, Ren? I ain't seen your fuck ass in a minute, fuck nigga. He said, some damage control funds. Thank you for the $5, man. Put that towards the damage control funds. Now listen,
Alex, hold on, I'm gonna ask Alex. So, Alex, if they release the game next month, with what you just saw, you be cool with it?
No, like I said,
Doesn't look good.
I want to
Thank you. I'm right. He just answered.
I want to.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted that game this year. I did. But like I said, I'm not gonna base a game off of fucking graphics. If the story's
I wasn't
fire,
talking about it wasn't just the
He just said the
graphics,
game
bro.
like dog
Did you
shit.
see
What
the
you talking about,
animation?
bro?
Did you see some of the
talking
stuff
about
that
the
was
gameplay.
Also, you're not even allowed to talk your own PlayStation, bro. Stop.
bro? I'm looking. I don't care if I own a PlayStation or not, nigga. I'm able to see the footage, nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
He trying to get that shit from a local pawn shop. You got it for 60, bro.
Facts. Pawn Shop Pro, nigga.
He's trying to do what I did. Trying to find a
Yeah. That's the
Man,
I'm on my Porter Rock right now. I'm on my Porter Rock right now, nigga. Budgeting. You feel
All you
me?
gotta do, you just gotta find some chick that just broke up with her boyfriend.
Right,
Right.
You tell him
Got his PS4, and she gonna give it to you for
Baby, I love
$20 and keep it moving.
bucks.
Baby, I love you. I need that PlayStation. There you go. She got you.
Let's talk about it.
okay.
Or you can, you know what you could do, Post? You should enter that mixer giveaway where they giving away a PS fucking.
Yo, you beat that? I was like, oh, come on. Microsoft, come on.
I guess we can maybe. This is one of the things I want to talk about here. Again, like I said, I was in the Tibetan mountains for the last 3 days. I've seen that I got a notification because I am following Mixer on Twitter, and that they're giving away a PS4 Pro a God of War bundle.
Hey, with the Elgato.
So you can stream it there on their service, right? Like, what are your thoughts about this? Now, listen. You know what? I'm gonna say this, right? Real talk, right? And it's just no spin. It'd have been better off if it came out and been doing this if Microsoft didn't announce that they bought it. You know what I mean? And it does still look kind of bad because you're not even. What game they just had released? They just had Sea of Thieves just came out.
Right.
They didn't.
You got the State of Decay coming.
Yeah, State of Decay, you know what I mean, or Crackdown or whatever. They're not showcasing any of their games. How do you feel about this GKB? How far they've, you know what I mean, like where we at with it? Like they just don't give a fuck, like, you know what I mean?
Man, they're all about like services and stuff right now, man. I don't think they really care, honestly. Like, I mean, if the execs are gonna go on their channels and play like Sony games and all that stuff, why not go on Mixer and just give away a PS4 Pro? It's not like any of their first parties really doing that well anyway right now. So
Yeah.
I think it's a business thing. Look,
straight to the point.
From the business part, I get it. Like, you want the hottest game to represent Mixer, whatever it is. I get it. But the fanboy side, I'm mad. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? How y'all advertising the competition stuff? You know what I mean?
Paid advertisement. If Sony paying them to advertise it, they gon'.
I don't even think they're paying them. They probably give them a slap on the ass.
That's paid advertisement. Right there,
you want Mixer to get hot?
That's paid advertisement. I guarantee that's paid advertisement.
But it benefits both. Like I said, God of War right now is the hottest shit. You're gonna put the hottest shit out there to sell it.
No, and
Mixer.
I bet I noticed for a fuck Microsoft. It is definitely paid advertising. Sony was like, we already are getting all this advertising on Twitter from the execs playing our game, and they are getting shit for it. So let's go ahead and set up this advertising with Mixer so that we give them a God of War PS4 Pro, and we can push that narrative even more.
You gotta understand, Mixer is not exclusive to Xbox. It's proven to all platforms, no matter what system you got on, you can stream. So you gotta understand that type of ecosystem.
I get it, and it's a weird time for Microsoft because they're trying to advertise their services, but also try to keep the gamers happy.
That was smart on Sony too, though.
But
that was real smart on Sony.
You know, all the bullshit aside, I mean, Mixer's not really an Xbox service.
Exactly.
When you think about it, it's not. Even though, I mean, some people are trying to look at it, but in reality, it's really not.
Talk about
so who owns it? Who owns it?
Microsoft.
It's a service. They trying to advertise their.
It's not an Xbox service, though.
You have to understand.
It's not YouTube.
Xbox,
it's like Twitch, right?
But here's the thing.
Talk about it, Paul.
Here's the thing. When people think of Microsoft, Xbox is just a small portion of Microsoft. You know, it's kind of like, this is why I always bring up their Windows operating system and stuff like that. They have and they make a Surface tablet. That is their hardware. Yet all the services and software that tablet has, they sell it to Toshiba, to Dell, and they make competitors. It's because they have a bigger vision, you know. So it's not Xbox comes before Microsoft. Microsoft comes before Xbox.
Facts.
So Mixer is a way for Microsoft to make money. It's not a way to sell more Xboxes. It's a way for Microsoft to make more money.
I get it. For us like-minded motherfuckers, we understand that. But for them sick fanboys,
yeah, but they're irrelevant. Though.
Yeah, no, they're irrelevant. It'll make ones buying 500 games.
It's irrelevant. That's not, like, think about it. If PlayStation gamers like Mixer better than YouTube or whatever, they'll get their Elgatos and they'll start streaming on Mixer, which is more money for Microsoft.
Yeah,
is Mixer
and it helped build their streaming service because it is in competition with Twitch, YouTube, and now Facebook because Facebook got their streaming service.
Facebook is on this shit, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised sooner or later you see Mixer as an app on PlayStation eventually.
Exactly.
If it gets popular enough among PlayStation gamers, it's just a free app.
PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Will allow that to happen. Microsoft will allow that to happen.
That's a PlayStation 5 exclusive right there.
Shout out to Mitch Mustang said that Switch Microsoft email real. Xbox want to be an app.
What?
They want. I think he's talking about the
cloud service thing.
Yeah.
What happened? What is
I think because there was like some shit about when when Switch announced all that shit about Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
There was like some email floating around talking about an Xbox app on the Switch.
Damn.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh shit!
You got a link for that?
I think they should just say it straight up.
All you need is a PlayStation and a Switch.
I think it's for what?
Hey Z, you got a link for that?
I think it's for party chat.
You know, I'm about to get a full. I'm about to get a full character.
I'm gonna trade in my Xbox for a Switch.
He was ready too.
Bro, good luck with that. I've been trying to sell his Xbox One X. Nobody want this garbage. I'm telling you, shovelware. Nobody wants it, bro.
I think it's for party chat. Huh? I gotta find where it is.
Oh,
Microsoft is telling y'all niggas we don't want to be in the hardware business no more, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
They should just keep it a buck though. If that's what they want to do, they should just keep it a stack.
I'm gonna say I'm about to get a full character for that one right there, Shake.
Nah, you should do a rant video. I love this nigga rant videos, bro.
Hey yo, I told you, man. I started off joking, but shit, you know, shit get emotional.
You get emotional.
Yeah, shit got screaming at the screen. Hey yo, And the more me playing around, the more mad and mad I get. Like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
Yo, to homie in the chat saying we don't need PS5. I ain't say now. 2 years, I would love a new console.
Yeah, you want to get a new console in 2019, 2020. It's gonna be yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? The dudes in the chat saying they don't want PS5, and it's like,
what? No, why? Because those people just got their console maybe 2 years ago. And it feels new to them still.
right.
They hopped in with a Pro.
Yeah,
it was still on PS3.
But Sony never really abandoned
They hopped in
the
with
other
a Pro.
consoles. It took them a little while before they shook off like the PS2, PS3. So you should be alright for a little bit.
You'll be better off with the PS4 to PS5 just because 90% of it will be
cross-platform.
Yeah,
it's x86.
x86. It's all the same shit.
It's
So
going to be a much
it's
easier
scalable.
transition going from PS4, Xbox One to the new generation consoles as compared to 360, PS3 to
it'll be
Xbox One.
And
It'll be more like
back
scaling
compat
from-
is coming to
It'll be like
PS5.
scaling from a strong computer to a weak computer,
Yeah.
as opposed to two different systems.
Yeah.
they said my Sony checks is in the mail. Yeah, they coming. They coming.
and get ready, Sony fans, to start celebrating back compat because it is coming. And y'all will do the switch.
No, to be honest, I'll say this. To be honest, once PS5 comes out and has BC, I think it's gonna be like no different than Party Chat. It was like the huge talking point during 360, but as soon as PlayStation got it, no one really talks about it no more. Yeah, once that feature comes out, no one's really gonna talk about BC. It's not gonna be it's just gonna be something that's there.
Yeah.
You want to play fucking NAC 1? All right, so fucking play NAC 1. Whatever.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say before we get the hell up out of here? Any questions?
2 years ago.
Yo, we gotta have like a special E3 special.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Week before, we gotta go in.
Oh yeah. We gonna start. We start the E3 leaks. You know,
Early, right?
About a month away. What about a month away? Right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to make this on here too. If I hear anybody, and I thought this shit was fake, but if I hear anybody talking about 4K Blu-ray as an exclusive, I'm punching your fucking face.
Yeah,
Hey, at least
I don't know.
Punching your fucking face.
Black Panther.
I haven't been on social media. I don't know how this Wakanda for Xbox.
Wakanda for Xbox.
Please stop.
Wakanda for Xbox.
Celebrating Blu-rays as 4K Blu-rays exclusive to X. Stop. It makes the community look very, very bad
Goddamn.
and desperate.
I live on the
Goddamn, Pools,
loudest
you being
block in the
chased or
world,
some
bro. That's why I don't do podcasts, bro. This shit always loud. You hear this?
Oh, that's Alex?
Yeah.
That's Alex, man.
You know,
Bronx
you know,
ass.
yeah, that's just whack, bro.
Yeah.
I actually heard that come out of somebody's mouth.
Oh.
Wakanda for Xbox.
No, the 4K Blu-ray exclusive.
Oh, that shit is stupid. I say,
Oh,
what?
my God.
When you texted that, I say, what is that?
Wakanda for Xbox.
And I went on Twitter and I'm like, people actually stop.
Bro, I'm telling you, these dudes. I don't know.
It's just dark times over there, man. I feel
Yeah, it's
bad.
hard times, bro.
It's dark.
That's more than dark times.
They lost their eyesight. Diabetic.
You full desperate when you told 4K Blu-rays as exclusive. You just desperate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He said, did we see the shit about Microsoft maybe buying Netflix?
Oh boy.
Oh man. Here we go.
That doesn't help Microsoft.
Yeah.
It doesn't help Xbox. It helps Microsoft. It doesn't help Xbox.
If they do, it's still gonna be on every other platform. It's not gonna become exclusive. They just it doesn't matter.
Unless Microsoft puts their foot in the door in the television movie industry, I don't see why they would buy Netflix.
Yeah.
Unless they're trying to
Pay the bills.
Get content for their streaming service.
and let's be honest, that industry is a very volatile industry. Like you see, Fox is having issues.
Shout out to Harry Holmes said, "What about Zoo Tycoon 2 bundle with the HoloLens at E3?"
Because Xbox for
Oh yeah, my man. Xbox.
They better never bring that shit on
that
stage again.
Minecraft on
That
the
Minecraft,
HoloLens
man.
looked incredible. Yeah, you got $3,000 player. I
could see Microsoft buying GameFly before buying Netflix. I can see that.
GameFly still around though?
But I don't see how Netflix
does
would be a strategy for them.
Because they are going after the streaming market as a whole because they have
Azure.
Right, they have Azure. They have the cloud-based services. So a lot of that shit sits in their servers already, and instead of using it as a designated platform, they can use it to make money. So buying it is just a drop in the bucket to them, and they're gonna get money off of everything. Just like
the same way they did with their gaming industry. They didn't invest to their own studios. They just kept buying out.
They're
ideas.
investing heavily in cloud right now. Microsoft
Right, so
is really investing in cloud technology right now.
That line.
No, believe it or not, I'm anticipating the E3. I gotta see what they gotta say because they come out with nothing.
I'm not.
You might as well throw that shit in the trash.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good E3 for Microsoft.
You said that shit last year, nigga.
No, I just made this video.
Run the tapes.
I just made this video, and I'm saying it again. All that Walmart leak shit where they showed Forza Horizon 5, even though they're on 4. So we're gonna skip over that. And Gears 5. If y'all motherfuckers come and that's all y'all show, stay your ass at home. Don't come to this. Don't come to the show with just that bullshit.
Nah, y'all gonna be mad for a little while. They're gonna say, "Wait till games come. Wait till games come."
Oh,
they told my niggas
anyway. So we gonna wait till games come so they can sit on the fucking couch and announce another game that's coming to my glorious PC. So let's do that.
Hey, I'm claiming it right now. They're gonna have a great show, and these opt-out clauses gonna be in full effect.
All right, for the show.
Opt-out clauses.
Talking about my contract. I've been talking about my contract, man. I can't opt out the next thing. Yeah, pretty much, man. But again,
what happened?
No, I was actually gonna say something. Yeah.
I thought you were closing it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. GKP, want to leave with the words of the day? So you want to say before you get about here?
Yeah, I appreciate everybody on the podcast. I haven't been able to do a podcast with any of these guys, so this is awesome. I had a great time. Chat, you are fucking amazing. You guys are fucking hilarious. Keep it up.
That's a show in itself, man. We need to charge admission for the chat, man.
Right?
For real. Every chat number in the chat. But like I said, we about to get the hell about it. I'll be back later on today with some more fuck shit, probably most likely. And
yo, send this dude the link, man. We need you to.
Yo, he finna go look for that Switch link.
Yeah, I gotta find it.
Video it now.
Send it to Z's Twitter. If you find the link, send it to Z's Twitter, man. I gotta hear him go off on it.
You know he gonna snap.
That's the shit. Let's go.
Hey yo, Jason Hernandez says Z like Shaq at the end of his career jumps.
Real talk. Don't get it twisted. Z about to get another PC.
Nah, he good. He on that PlayStation Nation, man. So.
Oh, for real, man.
That nigga finna have a PC in his background next.
Yeah, what?
That nigga's crazy. I'm a man of Ray Low morale. Hey, man, shout out to Noah. He told me I sent him 15 cents on PayPal. Hey, bro. Hey, man.
Tax him on that.
Hey, yo, shout out to my man, a big homie 4K, man, the 4K ambassador, man. That joke is wild out there, man. The 4K and back. Yo, this joke is great. Stop that shit, man. I'm David Ruffin, nigga.
Yo, send Z that link, man. He gonna be on later.
Thank y'all for rocking out. We out here. Hit the like button. We gone.
We appreciate